them just being able to get into the paint and get whatever they want because of that point of attack defense like you're talking about.
Yeah, they had that and 9 free throws.
There was inconsistencies in the officiating. Wait until you see the second half. And I have everything.
5 terse words. We didn't get the calls. Thumped out of Stephanie White's post-game press scrum and ricocheted across the W. They weren't shouted. Just stated with the weary finality of someone who'd watched victory bled away by a whistle she couldn't control. Moments earlier, her shorthanded Indiana Fever had dropped an 89-87 heartbreaker to the lowly Los Angeles Sparks, snapping a 3-game surge that included a Commissioner's Cup trophy no one thought they'd win without Caitlin Clark. The heartbreak would have stung on its own. The manner of it ignited a firestorm. Officiating fury trended within minutes. Rivals chimed in, and WNBA brass braced for another round of credibility questions. That's where our story begins. Indiana hadn't merely been winning, they'd been roaring. They humbled MVP frontrunner Napheesa Collier's Lynx in the Cup final, bulldozed Aja Wilson's Aces 81-54 2 nights later. White even picked up a tactical Tech Clark gleefully, offered to pay, then rolled into Gainbridge Fieldhouse as 5.5-point favorites against a 6-13 Sparks squad. ESPN's model spat out a 73% Indiana win probability. Las Vegas books shaded it higher the moment warm-up started. On paper, the evening looked like a glorified scrimmage to pad Boston's double-double count and stretch the win streak. 2 for. Yet the oddsmakers missed a creeping problem: tempo. Since Clark's groin tweak on June 24th, the Fever's possessions per 40 minutes had plunged from a league third 99 to a grinding 91. Without her 30-foot gravity and hit-ahead passes, Indiana's offense became a half-court plod that demanded perfection on every touch. Against Las Vegas, hot shooting masked it. Versus LA, the slowdown would become a razor blade. The scratches read like a cruel joke. Clark, 5th straight DNP, as the medical staff nursed her bulky left groin day to day. For real this time. Damiris Dantas, suiting up for Brazil at the FIBA Women's America, leaving a gaping rebounding void. Dewana Bonner, dramatic midseason exit after requesting a buyout for family reasons. Torching second unit spacing. 3 impact players gone. White patched the rotation with rookie guard Celeste Taylor and 6'4" swing forward Michaela Timpson, but the minutes math screamed fatigue by late third quarter. ESPN analysts still insisted raw talent would overwhelm LA until the opening tip exposed just how little practice time those makeshift lineups had banked. Cutters hesitated. Outlet passes sailed. Aaliyah Boston frequently sealed mismatches only to watch entry feeds arrive a beat slow. The Sparks sensed blood. Indiana's sheer quality masked the wobbles for 20 AD minutes. Boston bullied Derica Hamby and Azura Stevens for 4 quick buckets, and Kelsey Mitchell's step-back triple pushed the lead to 8, with 5:11 left in Q3. Gainbridge buzzed, as if the rout were finally materializing. But dig beneath the scoreboard, the Fever had 0 fast break points, and Mitchell Hall were already logging plus 23 minutes apiece. Sparks coach Kurt Miller ordered a simple countersend Rakia Jackson downhill at tired guards, over and over. The decision would tilt everything. The turning point was almost cinematic. Sophie Cunningham hit the deck with an arm curled around her neck, the kind of contact that usually brings an automatic whistle. Instead, the officials signaled a jump ball, and a murmur of disbelief rippled through the arena before erupting into full-throttle boos. That single no-call seemed to embolden the Sparks and unnerve the Fever simultaneously. Moments later, Aaliyah Boston, who had been careful to defend with her arms straight up, heard the tweet of her 4th foul sending Indiana's lone paint anchor to the bench and igniting a cascade of social media outrage. Clips of the sequence spread in real time. Within 10 minutes, #fix the WNBA referee vaulted into the national trending column, accompanied by slow-motion breakdowns and frame-by-frame Zapruder style analyses that left little doubt about the contact fans believed officials missed. The Fever, already grinding through half-court sets without Caitlin Clark, now faced a whistle that rewarded every Sparks drive. LA marched to the line 9 times in the first 6 minutes of the 4th quarter, converting free points, while Indiana's offense sputtered under the weight of foul trouble and mounting frustration. In that cauldron of noise and disbelief, Gainbridge Fieldhouse felt less like home court and more like a courtroom where the verdict had already been decided. Yet fatigue and whistles could not snuff out the brilliance of Indiana's core. Aaliyah Boston, despite that early foul avalanche, re-entered with 7 minutes left and immediately bullied Derica Hamby on back-to-back possessions, finishing one move with a drop-step hook that brought the crowd back to its feet. She would end with 23 points and 12 rebounds on 9 of -17 shooting, numbers that become even louder when you remember she logged only 29 minutes and spent nearly 9 of those seated. Natasha Howard matched the intensity, gliding into seams for soft-touch runners and stretching the floor with a timely corner 3. Her 21 points and 9 boards pushed her past the 2,000 rebound milestone. An achievement flashed on the Jumbotron and greeted with a roar that briefly drowned out officiating anger. Kelsey Mitchell, meanwhile, shouldered primary ball handling duties, curling off screens and burying her 600th career triple in stride, a shot that nudged Indiana ahead 82-81 with just over 2 minutes left. It was her 19th point of the night, and her 251st game in a Fever jersey, second only to franchise icon Tamika Catchings. And though the box score captures the production, it doesn't convey convey the leadership. Mitchell barking out defensive switches, Howard clapping back at teammates to keep heads leveled, Boston raising both fists after every tough rebound, as if demanding belief from the 15,000 still clinging to hope. On a normal night, that trio's collective willpower is enough to bury any opponent. On this night, it merely kept Indiana one bad whistle away from victory. The final minute unfolded like a fever dream, pun intended, where each heartbeat brought a new swing of fortune. Rickea Jackson slashed through the lane, finishing through contact that sent Lexi Hull stumbling and nudged the Sparks ahead, 88-87. The roar that followed was equal parts celebration and disbelief, but there was no time to dwell. Indiana hurried into its set, the ball finding Kelsey Mitchell at the top of the arc. As she knifed around a Timson screen, the whistle shrieked for an illegal pick, a call so borderline that even neutral commentators gasped. Mitchell's arms flailed in exasperation. Stephanie White spun toward the bench, lips pressed white. On the ensuing possession, Natasha Howard seized a defensive rebound, pushed coast to coast, and attacked the rim, absorbing a clear forearm swipe across the jaw. Ball out of bounds, no foul. The building detonated with boos and a smattering of stunned laughter. Forced to foul, the Fever sent Azura Stevens to the stripe, where she methodically dropped both free throws and stretched the deficit to 3. Indiana's last gasp was a perfectly drawn sideline inbound that sprung Boston into the midpost. She turned over her right shoulder, launched a soft 8-footer, and watched it kiss off back iron as the buzzer blared. Players from both sides froze in the moment, processing what had just transpired. A stretch of basketball where hustle, execution, and heart had been trumped by a handful of pivotal calls and non-calls. As the Sparks celebrated, Boston gathered. Her teammates at half-court, a silent huddle forming around the sting that everyone in red and navy now shared, a sting that would echo long after the box score was filed. Stephanie White has never been shy about critiquing effort or execution, but officiating, she's historically zipped her lip until now. In the press room, she leaned forward, elbows on the table, and uttered the sentence already blasting across push notifications: "We didn't get the calls." Reporters expected a longer rant, yet the brevity hit harder than any diatribe. Those 5 words instantly unified a chorus of players and coaches who'd been hinting at a growing problem all season. 2 nights earlier, White had drawn a technical against Las Vegas when she stomped onto the floor mid-possession, an uncharacteristic outburst that previewed her breaking point. Angel Reese had gone live on Instagram after a Sky game to claim superstar whistles were warping results, while Sun coach Stephanie Gately suggested the league risked becoming a hierarchy of haves and have-nots. White's statement crystallized that simmering angst, giving it a focal lightning rod. Within hours, #WeDidn single quotes to get the calls trended. No. 2 on sports Twitter, and WNBA elders like Sue Bird and Swincash weighed in, recalling early career nights when suspect whistles overshadowed competition. League spokesman Kareem Copeland pledged a standard review, but insiders reminded fans that only 3% of formal grievances generate any meaningful response, usually just a private memo, and, in rare cases, a quiet 1-game suspension. For the official, that statistical shrug poured more gasoline on the fire. By Monday morning, ESPN's studio show devoted an entire block to whether the W should adopt a coach's challenge similar to the NBA's second challenge rule. White's clipped remark had upgraded the issue from background grumble to front-page debate, framing Indiana's loss as Exhibit A in a broader credibility battle that could shadow the playoff race. Yet, even as controversy swirled, whispers of a looming reset pulsed through the Fever's practice facility. Early the next morning, Caitlin Clark jogged half-speed sprints, drained corner threes, and flashed a thumbs-up at the training staff before icing her groin. Team doctors will clear her for live action once she completes 2 consecutive full-load days with 0 reps, making July 9th against the expansion Golden State Valkyries the most likely return date. Clark's own competitive itch is well. Teammates joke she's been lobbying to play since the minute the MRI came back clean. Damiris Dantas, meanwhile, is scheduled to land in Indianapolis 48 hours earlier. Fresh off a run with Brazil in the FIBA AMRA Cup, coaches plan to integrate her on a minutes restriction. But even 15 high-energy minutes of rebounding and elbow-extended playmaking could stabilize second units that have bled leads lately. The upcoming slate offers both risk and redemption. Valkyries still ironing out rookie kinks. Dream scrappy, but undersized. Wings out-muscled by Boston last month. Sun elite defense. Litmus test game. Liberty title favorite. And ratings. Magnet. Collectively, those 5 matchups carry heavyweight narrative stakes. String together a 4-1 run, and Indiana recots from sub.500 frustration to top 4 contention overnight. Stumble again, and critics will dismiss the Sparks' loss as proof the hype train derailed. Inside the Fever locker room, players have literal receipts, posted screenshots of tweets, headlines, even a referee assignment sheet taped to a whiteboard labeled fuel. Kelsey Mitchell quipped to local media, "I can't wait to start crossing names off." Rookie Celeste Taylor called it revenge tourism, and Stephanie White, she's reportedly devised a fast break drill, nicknamed free throw parody, designed to hunt early offense before whistles can intervene. The goal isn't just tactical, it's psychological. Reclaim the narrative, force the officials to trail plays instead of dictating them, and make every slight trial or perceived pay off at the rim. Championship banners aren't stitched in easy wins. They're hammered out on nights like this when every bounce feels cursed. The whistle turns enemy, and a locker room must decide whether to fracture or fuse. Inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the choice is already made. Clark's imminent return, Dantas's rebounding injection, and the constant thrum of Boston Mitchell Howard brilliance have coalesced into something more potent than hype, a collective vow that no official hot take, pundit, or Vegas line will script their fate. You can sense it in practice drills renamed for the slight free throw parody, in the whiteboard of receipts waiting to be crossed off, in the simmering roar of a fan base that now treats every possession like a referendum on league credibility. So, here's the challenge. First to the W's brass. Fix the whistle, because every blown call is forging a sharper edge on this roster. And to every skeptic who penciled Indiana out of the playoffs on July 7th, keep that eraser handy. When Clark fires that first full-court laser on July 9th, we'll see whether destiny handed the Fever a gut punch, or the spark for a championship. Run now, viewer. It's your turn. Did officiating steal a victory, or did adversity just mint the league's next nightmare contender? Drop your verdict below. Smash subscribe if you crave stories the box score can't capture. Ring the bell, and clear your calendar. Wednesday's Revenge Tours opener is the entree we've all been starving for.